Let us begin by reading the word problem out loud. 6 friends bought tickets to a concert. If each friend paid $67 per ticket, how much did they pay together? So our first step in our strategy for problem solving is always to analyze a problem. So let's go ahead and see what information we can extract from the given sentences. So it says 6 friends bought tickets to a concert. So we have 6 friends bought tickets to a concert. And we also know that each friend, each being the keyword, paid $67 per ticket. Now that question that we want to answer is, how much did they pay together? So we know what it is we want to find. Since we know what we want to find, we actually know what our variable is going to represent. So therefore, we could already jump to step 2 and go ahead and assign the variable. So for this problem, we'll go ahead and use the variable x, and again, you can use any variable that you like. And x is going to equal the amount the 6 friends paid together. We'll go ahead and condense that, make it a little bit shorter, give us some more space to work with. So there we go. For step 2, we wanted to assign the variable. The variable that we're using is going to be x, and it is going to represent the amount the 6 friends paid together. Again, that came directly from the question, and is ideally the question reworded in the form of a statement. And so now the next step is step 3, in which we want to form an equation. Before actually forming the equation, let's talk a little bit about how much it would cost to pay for one ticket. So the cost of one ticket would be $67. However, if we bought 2 tickets, let's go write TICS for abbreviation, that would be 67 for the first ticket, plus an additional 67 for the second ticket. Now, that's how you write it using addition. We can actually rewrite this using multiplication. So it's going to be $67, the cost per ticket. And we're going to multiply that by the number of tickets bought, in which case 2. So there's 2 ways to write it. 67 plus 67 is the same thing as 67 times 2. So the cost of 2 tickets is 2 times $67. Now, following that same ideology, for 3 tickets, the long way to do it is 67 plus 67 plus 67 and again, that's through addition. The shorthand way to write it is using multiplication. So it's the cost per ticket, which is 67, and we multiply the cost by the number of tickets it is we're actually buying, in this case 3. So 67 1 plus 67 2 plus 67 3 is the same thing as 3 times 67. So if we want to know the cost of 3 tickets, we would simply multiply the cost per ticket, which is $67, by the number of tickets bought, which would be 3 in this case. And similarly, we could follow this ideology for 5 tickets, 6 tickets, 7 tickets, and so forth. But the one that we're actually concerned about is the cost for 6 tickets. So let's go ahead and form our equation. So our equation is going to be the cost per ticket, which is $67, And just like in the previous examples, we're going to multiply that cost by the number of tickets bought. So it's going to be 6. And that's going to be equal to the amount that the 6 friends paid together, which we let be represented by variable x. So just a quick little summary of the equation that we use here, which is actually an equation that gets used fairly often. So in essence, what we have is the number of tickets times the cost per ticket is equal to the total cost. And I'm going to go ahead and color code that. So the number of tickets in this problem is going to be 6. The cost per ticket, that's represented in blue, and we know that cost to be $67 per ticket. And that's going to be equal to the total cost, which is actually what we're trying to find in this problem, and is represented by the color green. So there we go. And so this is going to be the equation that we're going to be using for this problem. Now that we have our equation formed, we're going to go ahead and solve our equation. When solving the equation, you always want to start off with the original equation found in step 3. So 6 times 67 is equal to x. So since the variable x is already completely isolated on the right hand side of the equation, and there are no variables on the left hand side of the equation, all we simply need to do is multiply 6 by 67. So we'll go ahead and do that off to the side of scratch work. So 67 times 6. So first off, we're going to do 6 times 7. That's going to be 42. So we'll bring down the 4 and we'll make a note to add 4. So now we're going to do 6 times 6. That's a 36. But when you add the additional 4 to that, that's going to be a 40. Therefore, 67 times 6 is 402. So we can bring down the x in our equation, and on the left hand side we can replace 6 times 67 by 402. And that's going to be our solution. So therefore x is equal to 402, and that is dollars. And we'll go ahead and box that in green. So let us go ahead and state our conclusion clearly now. So the question was, how much did they pay together? Therefore, we know that the 6 friends paid $402 together. And we'll go ahead and be a little bit more specific. They paid $402 together for the 6 tickets. There we go. So now let us go ahead and check the result. When checking the result, just like in step 4, we always want to start off with the original equation found in step 3. So the original equation is 6 times 67 equals x. However, we now know that x is equal to 402. So we're going to replace x with 402. And on the left hand side, we still have 6 times 67. So on the left hand side, all we need to do is multiply 6 by 67. We already found that out to be equal to 402. Therefore, 6 times 67 is equal to 402 on the left hand side. And on the right hand side, we just bring down that 402. Is 402 equal to 402? It is indeed. Therefore, our solution is correct.